I'm here with the European Speed Duel champion, Danique.
So guys, you're with Card Game Philosopher again with Nick. Uh, so a few guys asked me if I could do an explanation and show me a few deck profiles of the Serpent Night Dragon deck. So I saw this as an opportunity to make a video about it, explain the three main builds I think are relevant, and explain what's the pros cons of these builds, and well, the ins and outs of the Serpent Night Dragon deck. So for the ones that are really not familiar with the deck, which I don't think are many people, because, well, it's one of the decks right now, in my opinion. But if it goes off, it's just really powerful. So you have this skill, the Nightmare Sonic Blast. Let's turn everything around. And it says that if you have Serpent Night Dragon on the field, you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck. And then it gets effect depending on the amount of monsters you revealed. For 1 monster you can add a card from them to your hand, 2 monsters you can destroy a card on the field, and 3 monsters or more you can do both of these effects. Or actually you have to do both of these effects. After that you can stack the top 4 cards of your deck that you just revealed, or the top 3 cards if you added one. So yeah, that's it. And Serpent Night Dragon has 2,350 attack and 2,400 defense. So that's the main thing. He's level 7 as well. Level 7 Dark Dragon. So this is what your deck, doesn't matter how you're going to build the deck, this is the basic of the deck, at least. So, how do you get this on the field? Because it's a normal monster, level 7 dragon, and you already play another skill, so Dragon Caller is an option. The most basic build, in my opinion, would be to play something what I call the zombie build. And the zombie build just plays a control version with Zombina, or 1 or 2 Zombina. I only have 1, so sorry guys. But it would play 1 or 2 Zombinas, 3 double Kasten, and then maybe Book of Life. This is a maybe, so I'll put it like this. This spicy tech you can do. And then you just, this is the build where you want to play the card advances, or at least 2 or 3, it depends. I think 2 is better, because I would play 2 card advance, 2 tribute doll in this build, but that's just me. Well, that's why you're watching the video, right? But it's not impossible to play 3. It's not wrong, essentially. So this gives you an extra tribute summon for that turn, additionally to your normal summon or set, and lets you look at the top 5 cards of your deck and stack it. So it both looks at the top 5 cards of your deck to make sure that the top 4 cards are good cards to reveal with Serpent, and it gives you an extra tribute summon with double Kasten. That's the 3 card. Let's shuffle it all outside. So this is a 3 card combo to get Serpent Night Dragon out and make sure that the top 4 cards are cards you want to see with Nightmare Sonic Blast. Which is always good, because it doesn't matter how the combination is with monsters, you can either make sure that you add, or do both effect, or destroy. You know what I mean. So, and no, if your opponent has no cards on the field, you can still add with Nightmare Sonic Blast skill, if I'm not wrong. So that would be one of the builds, and then you just play Sphere Karibos, Champions Vigilance. Because, by the way guys, I see a lot of people not playing it, but play this. Come on, it's a solemn judgment, not even lying, for this deck on steroids, essentially. You don't even have to pay half your life points. The only thing you have to do is make sure that your boss monster is on the field, which should always be the case in your deck. If that's not the case, then you're playing the deck wrong, or you're losing anyway, so that doesn't matter. It might break, yes, but this deck is going to break sometimes anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now, the second way to play this deck, in my opinion, is the dragon version of the deck, which the basic of the deck is you play troop dragons and you play behemoth. 1, or some people play 3 of these. I think 1 should be the correct ratio, because you can only use it once. But yeah, you're only playing 4 monsters in that case, so I get it as well. And why is this an option? Because in that case, if you fill it up with dragons. I will show you in a minute how to solve that problem. You can play the Dragon's Rebirth, which lets you target one dragon type monster you control, banish it, and after that you can summon a dragon from your hand or graveyard. Why is this better than the zombie build? It just showed you that played higher beat sticks and lets you tribute the next turn immediately, and which plays more on the spell cards. Because this way you can banish Serpent Night Dragon if it's a target of something, or if it has been oracled and summon a new one, or you can banish one of these that you top deck and reborn the Serpent Night Dragon from your graveyard, or you can just let this be destroyed together with... Actually, I have to read real quick. Yeah. If you have these on the field and they aerosol you, then you can let them die. In the end phase you get this back anyway, and then you can banish it to summon Serpent Night Dragon again. And then next turn your skill is live again. And as long as your skill is live, you get cards and you can destroy cards. Which is all this deck has to do, right? You already have a monster that beats over pretty much everything in the format except for Blue Eyes and Red Eyes. But the skill destroys cards anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And the last build is what we call the Pinky build, which is a cute name in my opinion, because it plays Gentlemanders. It plays a lot of monsters. It plays the zombie engine, the Gentlemanders. It can play Blue Dragon Summoners. Don't think that's the best option, but it can do that. And play Sphere Karibos and all the other cards, just to make sure that when you activate your Nightmare Sonic Blast, you always have monsters on the top of your deck. So you can resolve both effects. The only spell traps you would play in that build is 3 Champions Vigilance, 3 Tribute Duel. That's it. So you can get this out as quickly as possible. So that's the 3 decks. Now, you wanted something more than that. You wanted to see the deck profiles, but let me tell you a few things first before we go to that. So, what I think about this deck, what's the biggest weakness against this deck? Why don't you see this deck winning all tournaments? It's very simple. This deck has outs. First of all, it can brick, which is something all decks can do, but this deck more than others because it plays a lot of garnets, like as in cards you don't want to see. You can play if you have a handful of Serpent Night Dragons. You can't even try to defend. And the aerosol skill is bad news. That's why you play Vigilance, so you can negate aerosol. It's actually very simple, the reasoning behind all of these cards. Now let's start with the zombie build. How I would play the zombie build. So the zombie build, let's see if I can get it all together real quick. Give me a second, guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Well, like this then. Okay. So, you play 3 Serpent Night Dragon in this build, because you always play that. You play 3 Double Custom. It's one of the biggest beat sticks in the format anyway, so you can, even when you don't see Serpent Night Dragon, you can play control with this. And suiciding with it sometimes isn't that bad if you have Zombina. In that case, you make sure that if they do attack you, you can just reborn some Double Custom again, which is good. Then you play 3 Sphere Karibo, because it's a monster, so you want to play this in pretty much every variant, if you ask me, but okay. And you can always reborn with Zombina, if that's the only card you have, like if you don't see Double Custom, it happens. And you can still tribute Sphere Karibo with Tribute All to summon Serpent Night Dragon. And it defends your Serpent Night Dragon, of course, against all the battle outs people play. The the warrior equip card that destroys dragon, against oracles, against all other cards. Then you play 2 card defense, which is special to this build in my opinion. It's the only build where you want to play this, because you play 3 double custom and you turbo that out. You always have double custom in this build, pretty much. And you can always, even if you don't have Serpent, you can stack with that you make sure that you will have Serpent. Then you play 2 Summoner's Art to make sure you get that Serpent. You play 2 Tribute Doll to make sure it gets on the field. You play 1 Book of Life. Excuse me, because with that you can reborn either Zombina or double custom to pressure your opponent after you've summoned Serpent Night Dragon, or you can reborn double custom after it has been destroyed to tribute summon Serpent Night Dragon after that, and many more. You can also choose not to play this and play 1 more Tribute Doll, or you could play 1 more card defense, 1 more Summoner's Art, 1 more Zombina. Those are all options. And then you play 3 Champions Vigilance, because this card is insane. Alright, up to the next build. Let's do the Pinky build next. What's the use of the zombie build? The best thing about the zombie build is that it can play Yu-Gi-Oh! Without you seeing Serpent Night Dragon. Okay, so let's take these cards out. Pinky build. The Pinky build is the most monster heavy build out of them all. So this is how I would play the Pinky build. Let's see. Let's count. 3, 6, 9, 10, 12. One more card I need. How would I play? Alright, let's just this wild cards. Okay, so we start with the 3 Serpent Night Dragons again. We always play 3 Serpent Night Dragons. Don't play less than 3 Serpent Night Dragons. It's bad. Don't do it. Don't change these with Summoner's Art. You don't want that. Yeah, but what if I open all 3? Even if you play a Searcher, you can open with that Searcher and the 2 others. It's a brick. Your deck will always brick if it can. And 3 Sphere Crevo, because that's your hand traps. Then 3 Gentlemanders. Why this build is played is called the Pinky build. With these cards, you can always just try to protect your Serpent Night Dragon against all pseudo counters to the Serpent Night Dragon, and Gentlemander can make a soft lock. You of course also play 1 Zombina, because if you play Gentlemander you should also always play Zombina, so you can reborn a Gentlemander and then on the attack of Gentlemander summon another Gentlemander. Don't forget guys, ruling, you can not use 2 Gentlemander on 1 attack. You can't. Look it up if you don't believe me. I can give you the links if you guys keep doubting it. And you cannot use 2 Gentlemen on 1 attack, and you cannot use a Gentleman on a replay. That's just basic Yu-Gi-Oh! Rulings, but people don't seem to know that, and that's fine. You know now. So what do? You summon 1 Gentleman, or if you have the second one, you normal summon 1 for your turn, and when they attack, you summon the second one. Boom, lockdown. Or if you have Sphere Crevo, if this is your hand, you drop Gentleman. Oh wait, no, you can't anymore. Never mind. Learning you guys to cheat is bad. 3 double custom, because you play a lot of monsters and that's a good monster. Then 1 Blue Dragon Summoner. This could be anything to fill up the deck, really. It's just a monster variant of Summoner's Art to do the same thing. Then 3 Champions Vigilance, because that's insane, and 3 Tribute Doll. That would be 20 cards again. Tribute Doll with Blue Dragon Summoner makes sure that you search the next Serpent Night Dragon as well. So you can play more Blue Dragon Summoner. I just wouldn't do it because I think it's one of the worst cards of the deck. And then the last variant, the Dragon build. First I'm going to show you like how it usually looks like. Kind of. Because you should be prepared for it. If I'm not sure if this is how it is, but I thought it was like that. I actually haven't played the dragon build that much, I'm not gonna lie. At least not as it should be played. So it would look something like this, or with multiple twin-headed behemoths. So that's 6, 9, 10, 6, 9, 11. So that's 21 cards, about 21 cards. You can play one less double cost 10 or one less tribute, but I would play multiple tributes in this build. So yeah, this kind of how the dragon build would look like, kind of. Or would try to play more dragons, but this is essentially it. You can change the double cost for another twin-headed behemoth. That's the kind of things you can do. Now, what's my innovation to the dragon deck? I'm not sure if I'm even reaching 10 minutes. Sorry guys if this is a long video. First idea I would try in this build is play Spirit Ryu, because it's one of the better dragon outs. It can make himself 2000 attack points to attack over ambushers and other pesty monsters your opponent might play in the early game. You can just discard the Serpent Night Dragons with it and reborn it with Dragon's Rebirth. That's an option. If you open Tribute Doll, okay, then you can't Tribute Doll after you do it, but then you just normal summon Spirit Ryu, Tribute Doll, Serpent Night Dragon. If you see the cards to get you to Serpent Night Dragon, then you're going to use them. If you don't, you still have a play that gives you 2000 or more attack and can work with these others. And works with Dragon's Rebirth, because it's a dragon. Something else you could do is play Red Eyes engine, like Red Eyes and the Red Eye Spirit monster, so your vigilances are live more than that, but I'm not sure yet how to build that. Maybe I will try that in the future. So it would be something like, if I played this build, it would be something like this perhaps. So that's 9, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, 22. But maybe play 2 Tribute Doll, maybe cut another card, maybe just play 2 Spirit Ryu, so you play 6 normal summons just like Gravekeepers, maybe cut another Sphere Creeper that you play like this. So this would be 20 cards. Now this is more the way I would play it. So Twin-Headed Behemoth comes back after destruction. It's good to have on the field with Serpent Night Dragon if you're scared of Aerosol. Spirit Ryu can come back after that. Okay, it requires a hand, but it's fine, right? Dragon's Rebirth makes sure that these come back. Troop Dragon is a floater, so it makes sure it's always on the field. Tribute Doll with this is always Serpent Night Dragon, and you play more than enough monsters to always get your skill off. And with Champion's Vigilance and Serpent Night Dragon on the field, you're probably already winning. So that's how I would probably play the deck. The only option I was thinking about that you could play as well is something that's based on the zombie deck. Let's build it initially. This is just an idea of mine. What if we played the Tribute Dolls and the Serpent Night Dragons as 6 cards, and the rest of the deck we just built a control, a good stuff control deck. Like if we play just good stuff, I'm not sure if we would play Champion's Vigilance in that build, which is the only downside I see to this idea. Because if you just want to play good stuff, then, well, that's a brick. So the only downside, maybe you could play this twice if you're searching it with Sonic Blast anyway. So I would play something like that. Maybe Blue Dragon Summoners, because it's a 1500 attack beatstick as well. Book of Life, Windstorms, so you have extra tilts, so you can actually grind with the deck. Maybe a Behemoth, but I don't like that idea. You can do it more dragon based if you like it, instead of zombie based like I want to do. but I like the zombie build best because I like the fact that you can play double custom in a deck. Yeah, that's as far as my reasoning goes. And then you could play maybe Gentle Manners, but this is already 9. This is 9 as well, 10, 11. So you wouldn't even play these. But so there would be something like this. This is the last build I wanted to show you guys. Like, this is the last way to play it. This way you have 6 stilts in your deck. You have 6 normal summons in the deck to play with. And you have the Serpent engine. I'm really tired, guys. I came from locals after this, uploading those deck profiles as well. I will try to make sure that this deck profile is uploaded first. I'm losing my voice. Side tech you'll have to make for yourself. Maybe I'll do that another time. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this deck tops one of our locals so I can just upload that. That's it. Like and subscribe. Thank you.